Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LZ Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the return of one of the best Bravo reality shows, one of the best housewife shows there is out today, which is The Real Housewives of Miami. We're back, y'all. This is season 7, episode 1. Thank God. Oh, we finally got great TV back, and I'm so glad. But I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe if you are new, and you can leave your comments below. Now let's get into this episode. Okay, so I do say, and we'll stand by it, there's only 2 housewife shows that are phenomenal and really has raised the bar, but many just still fall short. And that is The Real Housewives of Miami and The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Of course, I did not cover it, Salt Lake City for a couple of seasons, and rightfully so, because of how crazy they are, but they finally got the groove, and they lit the match and let it go ablaze, so I'm glad for that. Most of the other shows, I think the only 3, of course, I put Miami and Salt Lake in the same category because they always perform. You don't have to worry about filler. You're always going to be entertained. OC is probably right below it. I don't watch it like that. But however, I think that those 3 shows are what is holding the Housewife the franchise together as much as possible, even though we know that the franchise is dying. Anyway, so let's get into it. We start off the episode with Alexia and Todd. We knew by the time the reunion was, I think, that Todd and Alexia were getting a divorce. Alexia felt blindsided. She's sitting with, I think, Marisol and Julia. What happened is that, like a Wednesday or so, everything was good. They had what she called amazing sex. And then the next day, he got up and left. While she was gone, Frankie was there. He moved out all of his stuff, and he took his daughter with him. I guess the daughter cannot be seen because I didn't even know that he had a daughter. But anyways, and that was something that was really hurtful. Like, why did you just do that? You performed great in front of me, but why would you do that in front of my child? So current time, because this was back in April of 2024, cameras went down. Normally they would have been filming. For whatever reason, Bravo decided to suspend filming, and they didn't film until the fall, which I thought was crazy for several reasons. Because one, I'm going to miss it, and we're used to it coming back in December, but now we had to wait all the way till June. But also filming in Florida in like September, October, that's like high peak hurricane season. So what in the world are you actually going to film? But somehow all I've seen is sun, but this is the first day. And the reason I say that is because I'm from South Florida. I'm here in South Florida right now. So it's just like, okay. But anyway. Yeah. So around September, October, when the cameras came back up, Todd and Alexia were spotted back together like they were together. Marisol and Alexia, they are at dinner, and Marisol brings it up because she's like, you didn't tell me. And that's interesting considering their friendship. But she had to learn from the press in regards to that. Alexia, hopefully you fix that. I mean, maybe she didn't know what she was going to do, even though she was spotted, you know. Maybe she didn't know. She didn't want to tell anybody. Right now, she is open to this dude. We found out a little bit later as to where her mind frame is, and I don't know. I think the way Todd left, Todd ended up saying that he did what was best for them. I think some people online were saying that they think it was a money issue as to why he left and all that good stuff, and probably would have benefited her. I don't think that he told her, but whatever. Lisa joins them, and we find out that Lenny and his crazy fiance, the side chick, broke up. And we find out from Lisa that Lenny was asking her to come back. And Marisol said, you didn't actually take him up on his offer. We thought at first that Lisa was actually thinking about taking that fool back. But she said, no, I'm not doing that. Then they talk about Larsa. Right now, Larsa and Lisa are not speaking. Larsa feels that Lisa and Jody are hanging out. And what it was, Jody does hang out with Marcus. At this point, they are broken up, according to Larsa. And Jody and Marcus were friends. They went to the same party. And we found out a little bit later that at this party, they ended up taking a selfie with Lisa and Marcus and all that good stuff. So, Larsa feels that Lisa's not loyal, especially at how loyal she has been to Lisa during this time with that whole Kenny crap. Okay, so we head over to Julia and Martina's home. We discover that Martina and Julia have been approved, and they have a set of twin boys. I'm gonna say, just for the sake of adopting and them getting a good home, congratulations to them. I don't see it for Martina. I really don't see it for Julia, but whatever. That's besides the point in this moment. But I was concerned because I'm like, did you really deal with your son's unaliving? You know, I just want to know if that's it, because you ended up, because it could feel like some type of replacement instead of just first being healed, you know, just wondering. So anyways, the plot starts to thicken or take form. Julia has on a Zoom call all of the ladies from Miami. Kiki couldn't be there, I think due to her son or whatever. No, her son ended up dropping her phone in the toilet, so her phone was damaged and she couldn't be on it. Gertie was there, and then all of a sudden the line dropped. When she did communicate with Julia, she was asking about, Gertie was asking, is there another line? Could you give me the link so I can get back on the Zoom call? I guess at that point it was over, and Julia said that she would give the news over media to really hear everything or something. I'm getting mixed up because Gertie says that she said that she would get the news over media. Cold. Julia is saying that Gertie's congratulations was cold. Through a text. How much are you deciphering what's cold and acting nonchalant about something, you know? So right now I feel like Julia's just making something out of nothing. I mean, Gertie did make effort to communicate with you as the line dropped. We'll find out a little bit more about what Gertie had going on. But anyways, Julia's talking about that she thinks that she needs to reevaluate the friendship, because she's been noticing some things, okay? And we've been noticing that you've been getting closer to Marisol and Alexia. And you are changing, but we'll get into that later on. Jody and Lisa, they're living together in a 6,000 square foot home. And do I have anything else? It was 6 bedrooms. I said, okay. I mean, I guess. But if Jody and Lisa are sleeping together, and you've got 2 children and they can have their own bedrooms, I don't know why you need 3 more bedrooms. Just saying. But is it too soon, Lisa, for you to be moving in with this man? I mean, you're not really officially divorced from Lenny and all that good stuff. So it's quite interesting how you move, Lisa. Well, anyways, she was talking about how the children are living in separate homes as far as staying here some nights with dad and sometimes with her. She doesn't get to say goodnight every night to her children. She did request for nanny cams, and that was shot down, which I think is kind of appropriate since they're having all those seedy get-togethers. Who knows what's going on there, but anyways. So Jody's birthday is coming up, and Jody said, you know, I want to invite more of my friends and not a lot about you. It's going to be about me. And Lisa agreed, you know, we're going to make sure that we don't invite Marcus, because we just don't need that type of drama. Marcus Jordan. So Larsa and her mom, Samira. The mom, she comes and spends time with Larsa. She comes about every 2 months, or when she'll come, she'll spend about 2 months with her. That's what it is. Her parents live in Chicago, and she comes from that place of where you didn't even know that things were going on between parents and all that good stuff. Larsa says, you know, I'm kind of used to being alone. I don't know if Sophia has went off to college yet or not, but I know that she spends some time with her dad too. So, of course, she talks about the drama between her and Marcus And about the breakups on and off, the children even gave the advice like, get off of this ride because it's quite crazy at this point. Larsa did not agree with some of the life choices that Marcus was making, and it's not aligned, and she had to break it off. She ends up crying because she's embarrassed about the public display of retaliation that Marcus is going through on social media and all that good stuff. He ended up threatening her and all that good stuff. Larsa at this point is mad at Lisa because she's still carrying on with Marcus, even despite having all these threats and all that. And she doesn't feel the loyalty because of how she backed up Lisa. And we'll get into more of that a little bit later. We flip back to Lisa and Jody. Lisa says, we don't know what to really take of Larsa and Marcus because they make up and break up and make up and break up and make up and break up. And why am I getting in the middle and disconnecting myself from something that's probably is just temporal? I guess Lisa has a point. I see actually Larsa and Lisa's point, and I'll leave it there for now because they're going to get into the argument. I'm still leaning more towards Larsa, but I can also see with Lisa. However, it's just like with Lisa, you get the update of everything that's going on, and you still have a nonchalant attitude as far as how you're going to moving forward with Marcus or what Jody does. Blah 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 blah. Lisa says that she had finally reconnected with her dad. I know that she didn't have a close relationship with her family, her mom and dad. I think they reconnected after the whole blow up with Lenny's and her divorce. I think possibly her getting married to Lenny is what separated them. That's just my personal thought. I have no clue. So they reconnected. His dad has went through a stroke. He was living on machines. They took him off. He's not doing too well, so he's back on a machine. I don't know if he passed away or not, but I think he's close to passing away. And for me, some people thought, it's kind of just bad that she got to reconnect and now he's gone. I'm like, a lot of people don't get the chance to get things right with their loved ones or people that they know or special people in their lives. They go. I wasn't in a bad place with my dad or brother, but there were a lot of conversations, a lot of understanding that I wish I got, that I really needed from the both of them. But they passed away hours between each other. My dad passed away on a Monday in the morning time, like 9 or 10 or possibly 11. And early into Tuesday morning, like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, my brother passed away that night into the morning. So from Monday to Tuesday. So you're thinking about 12 hours. I spoke to my brother because we were talking about my dad and things that were going on earlier that day. And to get 2 whammies, and when you thought that you had time or know that you didn't resolve some things that you wanted to resolve, it's a lot. So I would just say, Lisa, be grateful that you had this chance to resolve things before time was up. Gertie visits Kiki. Kiki gets to go on these yachts. She's a part of the Miami Yacht Club, and she used to date, I guess, the president or the leader of it or whatever. But she has access to whenever she wants to go on these yachts. I said, okay, cool. Gertie gives us an update. That's it, Gertie. I met Kiki. Kiki is the one with the yacht access and privileges. Kiki gives an update on what's been going on with her. She had, this is as far as the cancer, she has had 6 surgeries, 4 chemo treatments, 20 rounds of radiation, and she gained 40 pounds. She got a breast reduction, and she also got liposuction. She does feel like she still has to get some reconstructive work to her breast. I guess one of the nipples and all that good stuff, blah, 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 blah. Things with her and Russell are kind of interesting because she wants things to go back to the way they were. She feels like Russell has put her in this place of him being caretaker to her, and she wants that whole marriage thing or whatever. Do I understand that? No, but I've never been in her position. So I guess we'll get more elaboration as the season goes on. Adriana joins them. We also find out with Kiki's son, he went off to college now. She broke up with her boyfriend that she mentioned at the reunion. she found out that the boyfriend was dating someone else while they were together because she was really thinking that they had a future together. And then after he broke up with the other girlfriend, then he wanted to circle back around to her, and she wasn't really into it. Adriana is dating a French guy. She called him a marquis, but I think we talk about that a little bit later, so I'll stop right there. They get in on the whole Alexia drama. We see a little smirk on Adriana's face of, I told you so. Adriana says that within the Latin culture, we seem to forgive a whole lot more when we should really let the joker go. All that good stuff. Adriana tells the girls, you know, I'm here. And if she needs a friend, I'm there. Kiki slides down her shades and gives Adriana a look that I would be given to. Like, girl, stop it. And then we get a backflash of all of what Adriana was saying in regards to Todd and Alexia. So I thought that was funny. So Alexia and Larsa, they meet up. The fashions are good. We don't have to worry about fashion. We don't have to worry about luxury. We don't have to worry about nothing. We've had already a lot of storylines that have been introduced, and I'm so grateful that we don't have to just sit through boringness and dullness and the lack of thereof. They meet, all that good stuff, and Larsa was asking, you know, is she single? And Alexia says, I'm not single until my heart is single. Ma'am, you can carry on all you want to, but you could be still married and Todd moves on. So stop it, as he tried to already. Larsa says, you know, I think you should still have your guard up in spite of what's happening. Because what if it happens again? Alexia says, we have not had the talk in regards to the divorce and all that good stuff. And she says, I think that we're both scared to bring that up. And they're just living in the moment. Okay, Alexia. Then Larsa switched the subject and saying, well, all I know is that you don't want to be with a man that has baggy balls. I said, oh. That's a Marcus dig. And they talk about Marcus having these threatening texts. She reads it out loud and saying, you know, I'm going to get you back and I'm not going to care where the chips fall, da 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 da. She ended up blocking him because she really felt like it was, she knew that he was unpredictable. They talk about his drug use, you know, and that could be erratic behavior too. You never know what he can do, blah, 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 blah. Larsa feels like, look, I think that Lisa should be standing with me. You know, I testified under oath for her, and then she still wants to hang with this dude. Lisa needs to get out of Lisa land and get into friend zone. She feels a way about Jody. She does feel like this is sudden friendship. There's something to it. We'll get into that in a few minutes. So everyone is prepping for Jody's birthday. It's supposed to be old Hollywood. I'm hardly seeing any old Hollywood. You know who looked a fool? Gertie shows up. Ma'am, none of that was old Hollywood. I don't know what you were doing, ma'am. From the wig, all that. Like, I didn't know that the see-through was old Hollywood. Lisa had about 3 outfit changes. I'm like, okay. I think one actually looked Hollywood. I'm like, what are y'all doing? None of y'all. I think mostly everyone looked great. So I'm cool with that, you know? Okay, yeah, so we meet Amari, who is Adriana's boyfriend. They've been dating for 6 months. He's a French marquis. I'll have to find out what that is, but obviously there's some type of significance to his title within his country, or even in his family. We find out that Julia and Adriana, there is some distance between each other. Julia doesn't know what's going on. Adriana feels like old girl has been latching on to Alexia and Marisol and has been kind of leaving her on the wayside. That's how she feels. But she's been acting different since she started hanging out with the cool girls, basically. Yeah, I already talked about Gertie. Gertie comes in and starts asking Julia, you know, how are the twins? And was this cold? Basically, they're fine. It's like, oh, now Gertie doesn't understand where that's coming from, da 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 da. So then they get into this party and they're doing bone marrow shots. And this is this long piece of wood or whatever, or wood presenting of some type of bone marrow thing. And they do this whole shot thing. Larsa and Lisa, they finally talk. I think Marisol, who was producing the scene, basically told Lisa, you need to go talk to Larsa. Da, 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 da. Larsa tells Lisa as they meet up, I called and text because before they weren't even talking to each other. And Lisa says, I never got it. Larsa says in her confessional, she's lying. She's a big fat liar. Da, 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 da. As they're talking, Larsa brings up that she can already tell that Lisa is drunk because she's not really making that much sense. So I said, ooh, well, we know where this conversation is about to go to. Out, fat change. I don't know what this is about. Lisa's not a good communicator. Oh, Lisa goes away. I think this is one of her outfits. Oh, outfit change. That's what that is. Lisa talks with Jody. She doesn't feel like Lisa's a good communicator in regards to what's going on. Have you seen what Marcus posted? And he's saying nope. Basically, he's remaining loyal to Marcus in this moment. That could be kind of Larsa feels that Jody is this social climber. Like, you need to tell me you ain't heard nothing, he ain't said nothing to you, which I really doubt, especially all the threats that he has. Anyways, he's got Marcus on lock and not really doing anything to run him over with the bus. We see Adriana and Amari making out. It looks like they have a lot of sex. So I guess Amari's a little bit younger than Adriana. That's my thoughts. Gertie feels a little bit out of place. She's sitting amongst the group. She feels like she's on the outs. And that's when we hear that Julia told Gertie in regards to twins or whatever, that you'll hear all the news, hear it in the news, in the media, about the announcement and all that good stuff. I was like, okay. Julia is, to me, being weird, but whatever. We'll get into that as they get deeper into the season. As Lisa and Larsa start talking again, Larsa brings up, don't forget who was there for you. Because Larsa's like, well, I thought that we were better than that and that you wouldn't just do something blatantly to betray me. And basically, I don't understand why you can't get Jody to stop talking and all that good stuff. And Lisa says, I cannot control someone. And Larsa's like, well, you can influence someone that you are sucking every night. In a confessional, Lisa's like, I'm not every night. I'm busy. I have children. I have multiple jobs. You do, Lisa? What are you doing? All we knew you to be is Lenny's wife. So let us know what you're doing, please. We know you were doing that watch thing or perfume thing. I don't know what happened with that. It starts getting quite heated between those two. It gets to the point where Larsa's talking about, well, you had girls in a hot tub. Da 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 da. You had a fake breakup, as Lisa's response back. And then Larsa says, you're a fake it. At this point, Lisa kicks her out. Kiki was able to console her, and Larsa came back to sit down, but it's just like, Larsa's heated. When Larsa gets heated, she said, lets anything come out of her mouth. And she's like, you're just being stupid right now. You're being stupid. So Lisa says, get out. You're insulting me in my own home. And she's going off, getting into her car and all that good stuff. Kiki was saying, when Larsa was crying, I've seen Larsa cry, but this was like an ugly cry. It was a lot, very hurtful to her. Marisol tells Lisa that you've had too much to drink. And Lisa said, coming from you? As we know, Marisol has a friend, and it's called alcohol. Lisa's such a victim. You're such a victim. Da 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 da. And the world knows who you are, as Lisa was saying. So everybody's like, well, what is she talking about? So I don't know what that's going on, but it looks like we're in for a great season, per usual. I kind of like when Lisa and Larsa duke it out. I don't think that this is going to be permanent, but we shall see what happens. But hey, I enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Just enjoy the ride. You're going to get luxury. You're going to get fights. You're going to get comedy. You're going to get looks. You're going to see fabulosity over here. So buckle up. Until the next one, first, like this video, subscribe, and leave your comments below. Tell me what you think. And until the next one, peace.